All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever felt like your best ideas are just stuck? Like they're trapped behind this wall of boring, everyday thinking? Well, this explainer is for you. We are going to cut through all of that fluffy, feel-good nonsense and give you some practical, battle-tested methods to unlock the creativity that's already in there. You know the kind of advice I'm talking about. You're told to align your chakras or manifest your creative essence. Look, we're taking a completely different path here. Instead of these vague mantras, we're talking about using an actual system. Instead of waiting for some kind of mystical feeling to strike, we're going to learn a technique. And that right there, that's a fundamental shift in how you should approach this whole thing. But is creativity really something you can learn?
Oh, absolutely. And that really brings us to the core principle of this entire explainer. Creativity is not magic. It's not some gift from the heavens that only a few lucky people get. It is a skill. And just like any other skill, it has techniques that you can be taught, you can practice, and you can master.
Okay, so first, let's talk about why most of the creativity advice out there just completely misses the mark. I call this stuff mental junk food. And as you can see, there's this huge disconnect. They tell you to just let creativity flow, but in your reality, you've got a deadline breathing down your neck, and you need a creative solution to a very real problem. They say follow your passion, but what you actually need is a solid idea for a specific work project, right now. This mismatch is exactly why that kind of advice almost always fails. So if a lack of inspiration isn't the real problem, then what is? Well, that feeling of being blocked, it's not some mysterious force. It's actually a set of very specific, very identifiable problems. So you're saying these are technical problems, not a lack of inspiration.
Exactly. And, you know, that is the most liberating part of all of this. Because once you reframe these as technical problems, you realize they must have technical solutions. It just takes all the emotional weight out of it and turns it into a puzzle you can actually solve.
And here they are, the usual suspects. You've got mental ruts, just using the same thinking patterns over and over again. Then there's the fear of stupid ideas, where you censor yourself before an idea can even get off the ground. You've got information overload, perfectionism paralysis, the comparison trap. Look, these aren't personality flaws. They are solvable operational issues in your thinking process. So if these are technical problems, what are the technical solutions? Well, this is where we get to the good stuff, a toolkit of proven, repeatable methods that actually work. And this table just lays it out perfectly. Instead of just sitting around hoping for an idea to pop into your head, you have a specific tool for the job. So let's say your challenge is just generating more ideas. You can turn to a book like Thinker Toys and use a technique like assumption reversal. If you're stuck in a rut, lateral thinking has methods for that. See? Every problem has a corresponding tool. How does a technique like assumption reversal actually work?
That is a great question because, it's one thing to just name a technique, but seeing it in action is what makes it all click. And it's surprisingly simple, but it is incredibly powerful.
Okay, so let's walk through this. You start with a core assumption, something that everyone just believes is true, like customers want cheap products. Then you just reverse it. What if they don't? What if what they actually want are expensive products that save them a ton of time? All of a sudden, you're exploring a completely different business model. Or take team meetings. The assumption is they have to be an hour long. The reversal? What if they could only be 10 minutes? That one little change forces you to rethink the entire purpose and structure of how you communicate. See how that works? Now, these individual tools are fantastic, but they become even more powerful when you combine them into a repeatable system, something I like to call the creativity stack. The really crucial point here is how these steps all work together. You start by defining the problem. Are you even solving the right problem in the first place? Then you generate ideas. After that, you actually use constraints to focus your innovation, not run away from them. And finally, you have steps for communication and implementation. Because let's be honest, a great idea that can't be explained or tested is, well, it's useless. And it's so important to get this. This isn't a rigid 1-2-3 formula you have to follow every single time. Think of it more like a musician practicing scales. It's a system of tools that you practice, so when you face a real challenge, you know exactly which tool to pull from your stack to solve it. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but theory doesn't get you results. Action does. So what is a simple, powerful first step that you can take right now? Here's the game plan. Don't try to read everything at once. First, just pick one book from that list that speaks to your biggest challenge right now. As you read it, don't just passively absorb it, actively hunt for specific, actionable techniques. And then, here's the most important part. Practice one of those techniques every single day on some small, low-stakes problem. This is how you build the muscle. If you only take one single thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. Stop waiting around for some lightning bolt of inspiration to strike you. That's a passive approach. Instead, take an active role. Start with a technique. Methodology is what produces results, time and time again. So let's end on this thought. Your next big breakthrough isn't going to show up just because you were in the right mood. It's waiting for you right now inside a systematic, disciplined approach that you can learn, that you can practice, and that you can rely on, no matter how you're feeling that day. Hey, if you found this content helpful and you're ready to make your own creative process more systematic, please share this with someone who needs it. And of course, make sure you click like on this video and subscribe to our channel for more practical guides just like this one. Thanks for tuning in.